Hello, and thank you for joining us at GSMA Mobile for Development. My name is Chris Lowe. I'm a Senior Insights Manager in the GSMA Mobile Money team.
My name's Isabel Carboni, and I'm the Insights Director for Digital Inclusion.
Recently published in our 2022 State of the Industry report on mobile money, we know globally that there are 1.35 billion mobile money accounts transacting over $1 trillion. There are dozens of mobile money-enabled digital financial services available. Yet in general, women are not accessing and using them as much as men. Today, we will talk about the gender gap in mobile money account ownership and usage and how to reduce it. We will cover insights from our latest nationally representative research across a number of lower middle income countries, with a specific focus on nationally representative research of mobile phone owners in Ghana, one of the most mature mobile money markets globally. These insights are also published in 3 of our 2022 reports: the State of the Industry report on mobile money, the Gender Gap report, and exploring women's use of mobile money in Ghana. Despite significant gains in mobile-led financial inclusion over the last decade, women still have lower access to mobile money services compared to men. As of 2021, there is a gender gap in mobile money account ownership. This is a lost opportunity since mobile money can improve financial inclusion for women, increase their economic independence, and strengthen their role as financial decision makers. In all our surveyed countries, apart from Indonesia, women are less likely than men to have a mobile money account. The largest gender gap in mobile money account ownership in our research is observed in Pakistan at 71%, followed by India, Bangladesh, and Nigeria. The gender gap in mobile ownership drives the gender gap in mobile money account ownership. Between 2020 and 2021, across low and middle income countries, the underlying gender gap in mobile ownership remains largely unchanged. Despite a perception that mobile ownership is near universal, women are still 7% less likely than men to own a mobile phone. This means that there is 372 million women still without a mobile phone who are proving difficult to reach, which translates to about 131 million fewer women than men owning a mobile phone across low and middle income countries. The gender gap in mobile ownership varies significantly between regions. It is widest in South Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa, but considerably smaller in some of the other regions. Pakistan has the widest gender gap in mobile ownership of all the countries that we surveyed. Women in this context are not a homogeneous group. Those who are least likely to own a mobile phone have low literacy levels, are unemployed, have low incomes, are older than 55, live in a rural area, or have a disability. Furthermore, our latest research across 10 lower middle income countries shows that owning a handset and being aware of mobile money does not necessarily translate into owning a mobile money account, particularly so for women. In Pakistan, for instance, 76% of men and 51% of women own a mobile phone. 77% of men and 70% of women have heard of at least one national brand of mobile money, but only 19% of men and 6% of women actually have a mobile money account. This indicates that there are other barriers to having a mobile money account. Awareness is one of those key barriers. But even when a woman owns a mobile phone and is aware of mobile money, certain barriers can prevent her from owning a mobile money account. These are generally the same barriers faced by men, but they disproportionately impact women due to structural inequalities and underlying social norms, including disparities between men and women in terms of their education and their income. Once a woman is aware of mobile money, she faces certain categories of barriers to mobile money account ownership, which are knowledge and skills, number one, e.g. difficulties using a handset or having low literacy. 2, affordability, e.g. they can buy a handset and can they afford to run it. 3, relevance, e.g. having a preference for cash or preferring to use alternative methods to transfer money. 4, safety and security, e.g. do they feel the money is safe and secure in their wallet and during transactions? And for example, can agents be trusted? And 5, access, e.g. having a recognized government ID, or whether there is a mobile network that's available and has sufficient coverage. Moreover, we identified specific barriers within these categories that disproportionately affected women. These were lack of access to agents, unaffordable transaction fees, and a lack of family approval. Encouragingly, we found that when a woman has a mobile money account, she's almost as likely as a man to have used it in the last 30 days. Beyond account ownership, measuring a person's true level of digital financial inclusion requires understanding how often mobile money is used and for what purpose. And while 30-day active rates here are lower among female mobile money account owners than the male counterparts in Bangladesh and Egypt, as you'll see on the chart, they are similar in Kenya, Indonesia, India, and Senegal, and higher in Nigeria. Now, having looked at the trends across low and middle income countries, let's zoom in on Ghana, one of the most mature mobile money markets in the world. As of 2021, according to our mobile money metrics data, Ghana has a very high prevalence of mobile money with 7 live mobile money deployments and the most progressive regulatory environment of any country that has mobile money. Between November 2021 and January this year, we researched mobile money usage among men and women and entrepreneurs running MSMEs, with a particular focus on women entrepreneurs. We also looked at the impacts of the pandemic and the barriers to greater usage. Using a nationally representative quantitative sample of mobile phone owners and supporting qualitative data, we mapped the mobile money user journey and how this differs between men and women and entrepreneurs running MSMEs.
In this recent research in Ghana, we found that amongst mobile owners, there was almost no gender gap between men and women's awareness of mobile money, their level of account ownership, or their regular usage. As you can see here, amongst mobile owners, awareness of mobile money is equal at 98%. And the difference between men and women is only 1 percentage point for both registered accounts and regular usage. In Ghana, despite the seemingly equal levels in mobile money use, we found important gender differences in specific mobile money behaviors. Firstly, both men and women who are mobile money users find mobile money vastly more convenient than cash or traditional banking. They also reported it as more secure, easier to use, and cheaper. However, when we looked at MSMEs in particular, and you can see that highlighted in the grey box on the left here, the vast majority found mobile money more convenient, but of those who found cash more convenient, they're significantly more likely to be female. This highlights a gap, and how could mobile money better meet the needs of women MSMEs in convenience? We also found that amongst more mature mobile money users, that is those whose accounts predated COVID, men were somewhat more likely to use mobile money on a daily basis than women. Overall, women tended to use mobile money for basic services only, such as P2P transfers and cash in, cash out services. Amongst MSMEs, men are using mobile money more frequently than women MSMEs, and the differences by gender are widest for the non-core services. Interestingly, women tended to have a lower awareness of these non-core services, this full range of mobile money services and products, even amongst women MSMEs. Services such as buying airtime, paying bills, paying for suppliers or school fees could save women time and money, especially women MSMEs. This lower awareness may go some way to explain the lower level of usage amongst women. But what more could be done to ensure that women have the same access to information as men when it comes to mobile money products and service offerings? Lastly, women are more likely to learn how to use mobile money through family members. Although this may be a useful way to learn initially, it may also limit the way that women can learn to what their family members already know about, rather than the full range of services that might be more useful to them specifically in their work. Women are also more likely to need help performing a transaction. Although the majority of women do handle their own transactions, particularly female MSMEs, the gender differences were significant. Those needing help from an agent or a family member to transact are more likely to be female and significantly so for MSMEs. This leaves women, including women MSMEs, open to financial abuse.
So how do we close the mobile money gender gap? And what can mobile money providers, government departments, the development community, and other organizations and investors do to further reduce the gender gap in mobile money account ownership and usage? Our research in Ghana and across low and middle income countries highlights the importance of collecting gender disaggregated data to understand the barriers and needs of women and concrete targeted actions for closing the mobile money gender gap, like these examples concluded in our research. Address the gender gap in mobile ownership, strengthen women's knowledge and skills to be able to use mobile money independently, increase the number of female agents or ambassadors who can play a role in raising awareness and coaching, and drive usage by increasing women's awareness of value-added mobile money services. So if you'd like to know anything more about our services, please do follow the links on this slide. Thank you very much to our sponsors, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, UK Aid, and the Swedish International Development and Cooperation Agency. And thank you for joining us today at the GSBA Mobile for Development.